some people's selfies game, it's about to be ruined. This is awful news. Instagram, they've blocked certain filters for people in Texas as well as Illinois. Now, these filters can change what your face looks like. The restrictions, they started after Texas sued the social media giant on claims that the company misuses facial recognition technology. Meta, it says it will bring back the feature after adding an opt-in option and warning for their users, as well as an explanation of how facial recognition works.
Legendary bassist performer Ron Carter celebrated his 85th birthday with an elegant Carnegie Hall performance. Carter turned 85 on May 4th. Now, to celebrate the milestone, he held a concert at the New York's Carnegie Hall. Carter performed with 3 different ensembles. His birthday celebration was hosted by newman Lester Holt. Now, according to the Guinness Book of World Records, Carter is the most recorded jazz bassist in human history.
And Mattel is rolling out the most diverse and inclusive Barbie line ever. The new line features the first ever Barbie with a hearing aid and the dolls with a prosthetic leg and Ken doll with vitiligo, which is a condition that causes loss of skin color. Barbie says the line emphasizes multi-dimensional view of beauty, and they hope children will select dolls that don't look like them to appreciate and celebrate the importance of inclusion. The new line will hit stores in June.
And the first woman to serve as bishop of the African Methodist Episcopal Church has been named the interim president and general secretary of the National Council of Churches. Vashti McKenzie is the first woman to double serve in 2 roles, key roles might I add, as the general secretary and the president of the NCC. She is only the 3rd woman and first black woman to serve as general secretary. Now, her term is going to continue for 2 years. The NCC was officially founded in 1950, and in recent years, the organization has focused on combating racism in the country.
A Tennessee weatherman is under investigation for a racist tweet he made about Draymond Green. It happened during the Golden State Warriors NBA playoff game against the Memphis Grizzlies. In the wake of Grizzlies forward Kyle Anderson being assessed 2 technical fouls and an automatic ejection for losing his temper in Game 3. Fox 13 meteorologist Joey Solopek responded by firing a tasteless shot toward Warriors forward Draymond Green. Solopek's tweet and Twitter account were deleted shortly afterwards. Screenshots were taken in both Green and Warriors head coach Steve Kerr were made aware of them. Kerr says the racial slur doesn't surprise him. In a tweet, Green told the weatherman to, quote, stand on his word.
An Academy Award winner Denzel Washington says he is proud to be a lifelong member of the Boys and Girls Club. Denzel spoke to staff and club members at their national conference. He gave a speech on gratitude and talked about how the Boys and Girls Club rallied around families during the pandemic. Denzel calls himself a lifelong member, saying he started when he was 5 years old. He says he's held every job there, including a day camp counselor, a sleepaway camp counselor, and now a national spokesperson.
And Airbnb, they're overhauling the way that consumers search for rental listings on the site. Now, this is the biggest change to the company's website in over a decade. The company says that it's adding catchy descriptions to help renters find chefs, kitchens, historical homes, as well as unique feature. And there's also a new feature that will let people divide their trips between 2 homes. So Airbnb, they said that these changes will help people find listings that they didn't know existed and look at locations that they had not previously considered. Now, these changes are going to be rolled out this week in time for what Airbnb predicts will be a strong summer season for rentals.
The creative collective NYC premiered its first ever 3-city tour, making its first stop in Atlanta. Each year, CultureCon empowers young professionals and entrepreneurs to hone their craft and offers them the opportunity to network and learn from seasoned creators. The conference also included a series of panels that focus on the impact of television, the importance of black representation in film, and the business side of the entertainment industry. One session presented by HBO Max showcased Issa Rae's new show. Stacey Abrams also graced the stage to talk about her campaign, the importance of HBCUs, and the need for creative forums like CultureCon. The next stop on the tour is in Los Angeles, June 16th.
And in the aftermath of the pandemic and the murder of George Floyd in Minnesota, black families have started paying more attention to the economic inequalities in the U.S. and are focused on building wealth. A recent survey found that more black Americans aspire to pass wealth on to their families and communities than any other racial group. JPMorgan Chase is launching a Black Wealth Tour, taking financial, health, and education wealth building seminars to the black communities. Joining us live to discuss is JPMorgan's Justin Chase. Justin, thank you for being here.
All right, it's Justin Grant, actually, of Chase. So just minor correction there, but thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Justin. The Generational Black Wealth Tour. How did JPMorgan Chase come up with the idea?
Well, this is part of our Advancing Black Pathways commitment. So we've been at this for roughly 3.5 years now. We've established a program to really get after the root causes of the racial wealth gaps. We're making targeted investments aimed at driving impact in 4 key areas: financial health and wealth creation, business growth and entrepreneurship, careers and skills, and community development. And so other than careers and skills, you're going to see all of these pillars at work during our Advancing Black Wealth Tour, which starts tomorrow in LA. Then we'll be doing a special event in Dallas for Black and Hispanic families. And then we'll be moving on to New Orleans and then Philadelphia later this year.
I know the tour will include panel discussions, interactive workshops, and forums, but what can attendees expect? What else can they expect from the event?
So attendees can expect a few things. Number one, they're going to hear from people who have succeeded in building sustainable wealth through those categories that I talked about. So we've partnered with Shark Tank's Damon John. He's going to talk about pathways to building wealth as an entrepreneur. And how do you manage that wealth after you've been successful? How do you retain that wealth and grow it over time? We brought in celebrity financial health coach, Dr. Lynn Richardson, and hip hop luminary MC Light. They're going to discuss financial health and entrepreneurship as well. We're partnering with Ian Dunlap. He's going to talk about investing. And then in LA, we'll be working with local rapper Dom Kennedy to talk about home ownership. And it's not just about inspiring people through conversations with celebrities. This tour is meant to be actionable. So we're going to have our bankers deliver breakout sessions on each of those topics because people, their appetite's going to get whet. They want to learn more. And after you attend the breakout session, if you want to go deeper, we're going to have bankers there to give you small group consultations. So we want to make sure that this is actionable. You can inspire people, you can take them to church for a little bit, but we want to make sure that they're able to act on things and really enact those behaviors that will help build wealth over time.
I like that, take them to church just a little bit. I know right now we're dealing with record inflation, high gas prices. Why is this tour so important to the Black community right now?
I think right now, learning how to budget, learning how to manage your finances, it's critical. When I look at my own grocery bill, I'm buying the same amount of groceries. I'm spending roughly $100 more on every trip to buy groceries for a family of 5. So it's much harder nowadays to manage money. And so we want to teach people about budgeting. I think it's very critical that you have a real eye into what's going in, what's coming out, your personal balance sheet. And we want to make sure that people are using all those tools that are going to be able to help them get through this difficult period that it's rough for all of our personal finances right now.
It absolutely is rough. So as you mentioned, you're going to 3 cities, Los Angeles, New Orleans, and Philadelphia. Any hopes of expanding? I know you spoke about something that you guys were doing with the Hispanic community as well.
Yes, so we have a special event next week in Dallas. It's going to be a joint event aimed at delivering the same content for Black and Hispanic families. So hopefully this tour goes well. I'm pleased to share that we're at capacity for LA. We sold out that event. We also sold out at Dallas. It's a free event, but people, you see the hunger that folks have for this type of information and engagement. So a lot of hunger out there. And the goal is if we can pull this off and we have 2 successful events, move this out to other cities going forward. So hopefully this is something we can continue to build on.
So even though you are sold out, though, but how can people find out more? Can they still register in Philadelphia? Can they still register in New Orleans?
Yeah, so we're looking at potentially leveraging live stream or leveraging some content replays. So we're going to figure out a way to get more content out to the folks because there is popular demand for it. And if you want to learn more about the tour, visit jpmorganchase.com/advancing wealth.
Well, Justin Grant of JPMorgan Chase, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.